Hey Moon Magic Super Souls, welcome to the channel and thank you so much for joining me for this video. Today we are looking at the new moon in Sagittarius and the whole moon month to follow in terms of aligning your energy with this incoming lunar energy and using it to your very best effect in your manifestations and in navigating your life generally. So this is actually the 12th new moon of the year. Not every year has 13 new moons, but 2022 does, and this is the 12th new moon of 2022. It's a new moon in Sagittarius. The dynamics astrologically are so powerfully positive. I mean, it's really inspirational. So if you have been going through any upheaval, which most people have actually, there's a ton of stuff going on astrologically. We are in the most incredible period of accelerated growth with turmoil, pulled in all sorts of different directions, all kind of stuff coming to the surface, whether it's past, present. All of this stuff is happening as we shift and move into a very new way of living for humanity. But there are tons of challenges along the way, whether they are personally or globally. So most people are going through all kinds of things. This is a new moon where you get to really realign your energy. You get to recenter yourself. You get to re-establish yourself as the anchor point and as being the creator of your own reality, of your own world. So it's quite extraordinarily powerful in the most positive way in terms of manifesting from the inside out, seeing yourself as the source of change in your own world. In just a moment, I'm going to run through the whole moon month. I'm going to point out some really big void of course periods that are happening as well. For anyone that doesn't know what that is, a void of course period is, when we see the moon moving from one sign to another, there's often a space in between. She doesn't necessarily go from one zodiac sign straight into the next. Sometimes those periods of time are very small, but sometimes they're really big. This moon month we have some huge void of course periods, and I really in my own world I like to know when they're coming, because a void of course period means the moon isn't channeling the lunar energy. Let's say from our perspective on Earth, the lunar energy isn't channeling through the personality of a particular sign, so it can bring a lot of freedom. Now if you're going for let's say if you're manifesting and your world is on track, that sense of freedom can be really empowering. You can really use the energy. It's like you're liberated. Stuff is no longer holding you back. But if you're going through a lot of upheaval and you're already feeling quite unanchored and not grounded, a void of course period can leave you feeling a little bit out at sea. Now, if you know this is happening, it can be so helpful, because if you're aware of it, you can channel your own energy into really either very grounded things or pushing yourself forward. But you also know it's coming at a fixed time. If you are finding yourself feeling out at sea, you kind of think, oh yeah, I understood this, I knew this was coming. That's okay. So you anchor yourself, you meditate, you know what you can do to approach that time. You don't try and rush into anything or get reactive, because you understand that the energy might be a bit all over the place. Likewise, if something's on track, you can plow your energy into that with such liberation and dynamism, something like that. Anyway, you can really motivate yourself to using that energy to its absolute fullest. So whatever is taking place, these void of course periods, knowing when they are is helpful. So I'll talk to you about those in just a moment, and I will run you through the whole month of moon phases. But let's first of all talk about the kind of soul growth stuff that can come in the moon phase of the 12th moon of the year. In Celtic traditions, the 12th moon is associated with the energy of reed. Reed is a great cleanser, actually. It's known for its qualities of protection and cleansing. So really helps to keep your personal energy really clean, kind of pristine, high vibration. And in the tribal moons, we're moving into the 12th moon phase, which is gives praise. Gives praise is the stories of gives praise bring the soul growth layer of learning that you yourself are the source of change, literally in terms of evaluating how far have you come this year, leaning into a space of gratitude for all of your learning, but also then really checking in on yourself and evaluating, I'm going to say, the quality of your thoughts. You know, if thoughts create things, science has shown us this, what is the quality of your thoughts? Like, you know, are you still going over stuff from the past? Is stuff showing up that you're struggling to put down? Do you need to cleanse, release, in order to almost like cleanse your palette, ready for not just a new moon phase of manifestation, but the coming new year? We're starting to prepare for a whole new year. So this is an amazing moon month when we look at manifestation from the inside out. We look at the quality of your own energy, and stuff will often show up that will let you know, kind of give you an indication of how your internal dialogue is working. What are you thinking, feeling? What are you creating on a day-to-day basis? With this Sagittarius new moon, because the energy and the overall astrodynamics are so inspirational, so positive, this is an amazing day to literally make a commitment, set wishes and intentions to really reorientate, realign, reground yourself, reestablish yourself in terms of what you wish to create in the world, who you wish to be, what shape do you want your world to be in. Now is the point of power. It always is. When we get to tomorrow, it'll be now. So it's about orientating yourself right here in the present, so that your thoughts, wishes, your thinking patterns, your feelings, your emotions, your responses to your external circumstances are orientating in a way that they are all about generating everything that you wish to see in the world and everything that you wish to be in the world. So that's the kind of nature of today. For anyone that is interested in actually manifesting with the moon, if you haven't already checked them out, my own Astro-Moon diary, Manifest with the Moon Astro-Moon diary, and will give you all the information you need to work astrologically with the moon through the year. And the journal, the Astro-Moon journal, will teach you about the tribal moon phases and give you that information, really detailed information for every new and full moon, with journaling space for quarter moons as well. And anyone, last of all, who is interested, I can really recommend this book by Jamie Sams. If you are interested in the tribal moons and you want to know more about that soul growth layer, that book is just incredible. For me, it's been such a source of inspiration. I will write the name of that in the information box and the comments for phone users as well. So we've understood the nature of the new moon today. It is full of positivity. It invites us each to align ourselves and set wishes and intentions that really stem from the heart and align with, I guess, a bigger picture, but actually also really recognize you yourself as the source of power in your world. So the kinds of wishes you might want to set, if you're struggling with anything, you might want to set wishes primarily that are about removing blocks before you then move into wishes where you then look at the actual sort of the final end result. I think sometimes with wishes and intentions, we often set wishes that are all about the end goal, rather than recognizing that we probably might need to remove some blocks or do some work in between to get us there. So we can, I always allow myself, give myself 10 new moon wishes and 10 new moon intentions. Those are laid out for you in the journal if for any of you that are using that book for either this year or next. Wishes stem from the heart. Wishes are about those things that we really know from the heart that we wish to generate, we wish to manifest. Intentions are about your commitment to take the actions to put those things to bring them into realness, really. So setting with 10 new moon wishes, for me, I tend to set some new moon wishes that are primarily about getting my energy right, removing any blocks, and then I move into the more immediate here and now wishes, needing to know the next step perhaps, or finding the courage to take the next step, or whatever it is that I'm personally needing. And then I move my wishes into the end goals. So there's almost like a structure to the very nature of my wishes. I then set intentions that actually honour and bring a commitment to bring those wishes into being. So for example, if I was struggling with something, if I had an inner block and I knew I had a repetitive thinking pattern in my head that was really like a broken record, and I'm kind of doing my own head in, I might ask for that to be, my wish might be to easily remove that negative thinking pattern. I would then make a commitment. My intention would be, I intend to, and then I will write something that will help me to realign. It might be to say a daily affirmation 6 times a day that reorientates to a different kind of thinking pattern. But I'm using my wishes and intentions side by side so that they actually support each other. My wishes are clear, and then my intentions are what I am going to, I intend to do, I intend to commit to, and then it's the list of things alongside that will support the universe in helping me to manifest the things that I really want. It's really helpful, I think, when we think of manifestation. We're not just chucking a wish into the world and assuming the universe will deliver. We're doing things as well that, in a very practical, pragmatic, real way that will allow us to actually, respond to the universe and allow the universe to respond to us. So we're getting into a really interactive process of manifestation. It means you're an active participant in your world in terms of everything that you wish to create. So let's now move on and look at the entire moon months, and I will just bring up as well those days where we have a big void of course period, because I just, for me, find they're really, really helpful. You might want to make a note of those void of course periods in your diaries ongoing, so you just know when they're coming. And also, I do post the slides that I'm about to show you. I do post those slides on Facebook and Instagram, so you can check in with those through those channels as well if you wish to. So we've touched base with this information already. The dynamics of this new moon, this 12th new moon of 2022, are just gorgeous. The Sagittarian energy is embracing the qualities of renewed optimism, holding hope, overcoming any aspects of difficulty, depression, really realigning our mindset. There's also a really good opportunity here to set wishes. If you struggle with procrastination, this is the perfect new moon to request that these thinking patterns are let go of easily. So much energy to align with on this actual day of the new moon. To use the new moon energy at its most powerful, we set our wishes and our intentions during the 8 hours following the exact time of the new moon in your location. So on the screen now, you should see a list of timings right across the globe so that you can work out the exact timings for you wherever you are on our beautiful planet. We then move into the waxing crescent moon phase, which flows from the 25th to the 29th of November, and there's going to be a massive void of course period at the end. I'll speak about this in just a moment. But the energy during this moon phase, the moon moves from Sagittarius into Capricorn and then into Aquarius, is really holding an amazing flow that shifts us from positive thinking into positive action. There's a lot of fiery, go-getting energy and also quite a lot of balanced incoming energy as well. So if you're ready to take action, you're going to be really supported in a very practical, pragmatic way in moving things forwards and initiating things. However, if you're not quite ready, the energy should also inspire you and support you to hold the focus of your thoughts and hold that positivity and begin to see the next steps on your pathway in order to start to create an environment where your manifestations can actually come into form. On the 29th of November, between 6:53 a.m. until the 30th of November, just after midnight GMT, we are seeing a massive 17-hour void of course period. This is when the moon is moving from Aquarius into Pisces. Personally, I am going to make a note of this in my diary ahead of time, because this could be very liberating in terms of moving things forwards, but if you're experiencing any uncertainty, it could be a bit wobbly. So Plan around this, super souls. You know, when we have an awareness of what the energy is like and we know the timings of it, we can actually organize our world accordingly. And remember, the energy at the moment is very, very, very good in terms of focusing on self-care as well. That's the overall astrodynamics. So a great time to bring the focus of your world onto you in the very best possible way. We then reach the first quarter moon in Pisces on November the 30th. The overall dynamics are absolutely fabulous for healing, for communication, for balanced thought, for being able to view your situation through a spiritual lens, and with real fiery go-getting energy as well to move things forwards in practical, pragmatic ways. So the flow of energy that we started with right at the beginning of the moon month with the new moon optimism, the new moon hope, is really being continued to a point where you can evaluate, tweak, course correct, and really align with clarity in terms of your next steps forwards during this moon month of manifestation. We then move into the waxing gibbous moon phase, where she's basically getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The lunar energy is rising and building to the full moon. This is between the 1st and the 6th of December. And we do also have a 6-hour void of course period bang in the middle on the 4th of December. Interestingly, there really are some quite contradictory energies during this moon phase. So you could find yourself feeling really fired up. Simultaneously, you could be yearning for stability. Personally, because the energy is building, I think the best way to handle this particular moon phase and the dynamics that are coming is to take on the attitude of slow and steady wins the race. Listen to the way that the energy is pushing and pulling. Listen to the way that it's affecting you. Remain centered, remain grounded, and you know, just keep yourself balanced and centered, because if you channel this building of energy into slow, steady, real, solid actions, you'll be able to harness the energy at its absolute best. On the 7th and 8th of December, we have a full moon in Gemini. I'll bring up the timings across the globe in just a moment. Now, a Gemini full moon tends to govern areas of our personality and development that connect to learning, reading, writing, speaking, listening, communication, full stop. And a full moon will always illuminate things. So it can illuminate pathways of communication that are really working. It can also illuminate areas that aren't working. So sometimes we can feel a little bit confused or a little bit indecisive around a full moon, particularly a Gemini full moon, because in one way it can give us the opportunity to see things from every possible angle. On the other hand, if we're not actually very certain, this can feel like a flood of too much information. Now, to add to this dynamic, today our beautiful moon is sitting with the masculine warrior energy of fiery Mars. So we've got lots of fire and lots of water. It could be quite an explosive mix. Passions may run high. This can be amazing if you are wanting to throw your passions into something. On the other hand, it could be a little reactive if things are actually, you know, not working with ease for you, or communications are difficult around you in any way, shape or form. So to use this energy at its best, rather than engaging in any fast and furious reactions, just take your time before responding. View this full moon as an opportunity for incoming information that you may actually need to get grounded, get still, and assess and evaluate before you decide how to move anything else forwards. On the other hand, if you're just involved in something that requires wonderful immediate passion, then the energy is totally with you. The timings across the globe should already now be up on your screens. The disseminating or waning gibbous moon phase then starts on the 9th of December and runs through to the 15th. And the moon will journey through Gemini, Cancer, Leo and into Virgo. So the energy is still quite high, but it is gradually beginning to diminish. I always find for me that this is a very, very productive phase of the moon, and the overall astrodynamics are really supportive of the realization and birthing of your desires into the world, and the opportunity to take real significant actions. Slow and steady wins the race. Whatever you were shown, whatever was illuminated to you at the full moon, it is now a time to put your insights and awarenesses from that illumination into action, and step by step to start to build things of real substance, whether this is internal work or external work. And there is also a massive 17-hour, nearly 17-hour void of course period, again between the 13th and the 14th of December, running from 15:51 p.m. GMT on the 13th to 08:46 a.m. GMT on the 14th. This is when the moon is moving from Leo into Virgo. So make a note, 17 hours is a long time. On December the 16th, the moon will reach her last quarter in Virgo. This is a real opportunity to take stock and think about how you're going to continue. I always feel that I have a day of review, potentially course correcting, tweaking, looking at what's working, what isn't. Now, because this Virgo moon is sitting directly opposite expansive Jupiter and emotional Neptune, this really is offering us an opportunity to attend to the details, but also to kind of review where we are from a spiritual perspective as well. You know, are our visions in alignment, or are our manifestations in alignment with our visions? So a wonderful day for taking stock and also establishing plans for forward motion. The moon then reaches the final part of this moon cycle. She enters her balsamic waning crescent moon phase. This runs between the 17th and the 22nd of December. We actually have 3 quite long void of course periods. I'll give you those in just a moment. And the moon passes from Libra into Scorpio and then into Sagittarius, which is where she actually started this particular 12th moon of the year. On the 21st, we also have the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere and the summer solstice in the southern hemisphere. So this is an interesting lunar phase because the energy of the moon in terms of incoming energy is gradually diminishing. We do see a shift where we kind of shift from full-on progress to more gentle, steady, reflective progress. And because of the solstices, there is almost like a 4-day window around this time when the earth herself pauses for breath. And there's a real opportunity for us to realign in terms of the natural cycles of evolution, to celebrate where we are, review our progress again, and also open ourselves to receive divine guidance in terms of where we are in terms of our soul growth and personal evolution. So the solstice for me really adds another dimension to this particular moon phase at this time, and I think can really help to prepare us and to give you the opportunity to prepare for your next set of new moon wishes and new moon intentions. And this is going to happen on the next new moon on the 23rd of December. The void of course moon periods are on the 18th of December from 22:35 p.m. GMT until the 19th of December, 03:31 a.m. GMT. This is over 5 hours when the moon moves from Libra into Scorpio. The second void of course phase takes place on the 21st of December, so the solstice, at 02:44 a.m. to 07:13 a.m. GMT. This is when the moon moves from Scorpio into Sagittarius, and so this is nearly 6 hours. And the final void of course period that comes is actually as we move into the new moon. This is on the 22nd of December at 20:15 p.m. GMT until the 23rd of December, 07:50 a.m. when the moon moves from Sagittarius into Capricorn. This is nearly 11 hours long, so a very, very long period. Super Souls, thank you so much for joining me for this monthly moon update. Have a wonderful month of manifestation. It really is a very, very opportune month to really align your energy with your manifestations and really make some significant and real progress. Thank you so much to all of you who've been purchasing my Manifest with the Moon, Astro-Moon diary and journal. All of your contributions help me to continue to put free stuff in the world. Thank you to those of you who are supporting my work through Patreon. Thank you for just being a part of this amazing community. Tons and tons of love to you all. Have an amazing month of moon manifesting.